In life, it is all about balance. You can imagine a scale for most things in life. You can have too much, too little, and too much of the opposite. Or you can have balance. The further you go towards the extremes, the more likely is something to become unhealthy. This is true for personality traits, habits, and a lot of other things in this world. Oftentimes, there are situations in which we find ourselves driving too far to one side on a certain scale. The solution isn't always as easy as just trying to stop the pull of one extreme. There are things which can't be changed that easily or aren't changeable at all. One particular scale I want to look at today is the scale of positives and negatives. There are theories which suggest that a simple good versus bad comparison can explain the happiness of a person. If you have more positive things in life than negative, then you will be happy, and if it is the other way around, you might become depressed. This might not sound like a perfectly fitting model for every situation, but it can break complex situations down to find simple solutions. Having more positive experiences in a day than bad experiences will definitely not instantly cure any mental health problem one might have, but it could be a good point of intervention. As always, this is something which is more helpful in prevention and with subclinical problems and thus still helpful for most people. But there is a huge problem with this concept. How do you tip the scale from all the negative things which affect you in a day to the positive side? We humans tend to put more value on negative things than the positive ones. This is called negativity bias. Negative things are way more available to our attention and are weighted more for the scale. On the other hand, positive things are often devalued or not even perceived. The few big positive things in life, like for example positive relationships, marriage, having children, or finding a fulfilling job, are met by this overload of negative energy all around us. Be it the news, everyday interactions, actual big problems, or the load of this fast living society we have, or any other stressor you can think of. Combine the high availability of negative information and experiences with the negativity bias, and it should be no wonder why people nowadays suffer from mental illness and are unsatisfied with their lives. This is just one perspective to view this problem, but it bears great potential. It seems quite impossible to tip the scale back to the positive side nowadays. But there is one possibility most people aren't aware of. You need to find a similar sized force of positive energy to meet the army of negative influences. You have big negatives, like for example the death of a loved one or a stressful job, and small negatives like the news or everyday bad luck. On the other side, I already told you about the big positives. So what you need to mobilize are all the small positive things which often go unnoticed. There are positive habits which stimulate your neurotransmitters directly, like sport or interacting with friends, but also much smaller things. Birds singing, the sun shining, trees, clouds, fresh air, flowers, even art, architecture, or technology, whatever you can just enjoy for its existence. You might already had an idea where this was going, but one huge habit for this is mindfulness. Placing your attention on all the small, beautiful things this world has to offer will help you win this war against the immense negative force we all are facing in today's society. Basically, all my videos will in some way bring attention to ways in which you can try to tip the scale for good. All my visuals try to show you how beautiful this world is, and I often try to give you new and interesting perspectives to living on this floating rock in space, which might show you sources of negative energy you are unaware of, and also sources of positive energy which you might have overlooked. Behind this grey, performance-focused facade, there still exists this magical world we humans are illusional enough to call our own. As said, most of the videos on my channel will in some way try to give you a new perspective. Feel free to look around.